Hi, it's Ben from My Cycling Coach. I hope you're well and that you're having a great day. Just out on an easy spin today. As you can see, conditions here in Austria in the mountains are absolutely incredible today. I think much like you guys in the UK, some really warm conditions now. I think summer really has arrived. Up near 30 degrees today just makes for incredible riding and just getting out much more enjoyable. Anyway, I wanted to do a quick video on the page today as I've been getting a lot of questions from cyclists on fueling early morning rides and early morning training sessions. A lot of these riders have to do their rides at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and are really struggling to take on enough fuel before doing these rides, getting that energy in. And therefore this is then having a bit of a detrimental effect during the ride because they are also wanting to do some high intensity work, and because they're struggling with the fueling, this is really then affecting their ability to hit the target power or ride at the intensity required during the sessions that they're doing. So I wanted to give you 3 quick tips today. You may also be somebody who struggles with this. You may just struggle to eat early in the morning. You may struggle to eat before your rides. So hopefully these tips will help you today. The first tip then is to just focus on your meal the evening prior to doing that early morning ride the next day. And during this meal, really try to focus on consuming more complex carbohydrates. These are also referred to as the more starchy based carbs, so things like your pasta, potatoes, rice, wholemeal bread, the more starchy based carbs as they're referred to. And these are great as they're going to allow you to really top up those glycogen stores within the muscle, within the liver. These carbohydrates are a bit more slower releasing, so they will hold in the muscle and the liver for a bit longer, and therefore allow you to just have those stores topped up for when you do start that session the next morning, so you have enough carbohydrate and enough glycogen available in those stores. The duration and intensity of your ride, so to give you any specific amounts for this meal is quite hard, but if you just try to match the per hour to the gram of carbohydrate that you're consuming as part of that evening meal, the evening prior to starting. So if it's a 1 hour ride, try to have 1 gram of carbohydrate per kilo of body weight. If it's a 2 hour ride, try to have 2 grams of carbohydrate per kilo of body weight. And this can go up to 3 hours. So you'll then match 3 grams to 3 grams of carbohydrate per kilo of body weight. Anything over that in terms of the duration, 3 grams of carbohydrate should be enough. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 then is to really in the morning, if you can, try and get something in 30 to 60 minutes before starting that session, just something small. I think a lot of people think that they really do have to consume a lot prior to starting an early morning ride. As I say, if you've done a good job with your fueling the night before, then even just a slice of toast, again focusing on maybe some more complex carbs, a slice of toast with some more maybe simple carbohydrates on it, so like a jam or peanut butter or Nutella or something like that. That's just going to give you a bit of a hit of carbohydrate before you then do start that session in the morning. Other things that are also good is just a real small bowl of like granola or a cereal or something like that, just to give those stores a little bit of a top up. Even something like just a good energy bar, with 25 to 30, 40 grams of carbohydrate in it is also really good just before starting that session, just to give yourself a little bit of a boost before then getting on the bike and doing your session. If the session is maybe of a lower intensity, and is under 90 minutes in length, and if you have done a good job of maybe fueling the night before, then you may not need anything. But certainly if you are going to be doing some intervals or something that's a slightly higher intensity or over 90 minutes in length, then I would recommend that you do try to just have a small amount of carbohydrate, whether it be complex or simple carbs, just before getting on, again just to top those stores up from obviously the meal prior in the evening prior. The third tip then is to really focus, especially on if it's a longer ride, a more endurance-based ride, is really utilizing that first hour within the ride, especially if that first hour may be a low start at a low intensity. If you're just rolling out maybe to meet one of your group rides, or the start of the ride hasn't got any climbs or any intense riding in it, then you can use that first hour almost to start your fueling there. You know, if you're riding zone 1, zone 2, it's obviously a lot easier to eat. You can already then maybe start having some energy bar, an energy gel, or granola or flapjack or something like that there. Also really good is obviously carbohydrate mix in your bottle. Really start consuming that within your first hour of the rides. Again, this is just going to give you a bit of a top up, not having to focus maybe so much on getting up really early or eating before the ride. Utilize that first hour. Certainly if it is going to be a relatively chilled out pace within the first 60 minutes, you can then start to just use that as an opportunity to already get the fuel in for then when maybe later on in the ride there are any harder efforts, or just start that fueling process so you are topped up. So yeah guys, just 3 quick tips there. Focus on your evening meals the night before the ride. Try to top up a little bit more there. Certainly with complex carbohydrates, given a few little guideline amounts there that you can also use to match the grams per hour or the duration of your ride. Second thing is, if the ride is going to be harder intensity, or second tip, if it is going to be at a higher intensity, just try to get something in the morning, even if it is just a small energy bar or something. And the third tip, utilize that first hour, certainly if it is going to be at a lower intensity, just so again you can start getting that fuel in for what may then become a bit of a harder ride, higher intensity ride, or a long duration ride. Hope you found those tips useful today guys. If you did, please drop a like on the video. Feel free to follow, share, subscribe, and any comments, as always, would love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your day, enjoy your riding, and speak soon.